What's up, fight fans? Thank you, as always, for spending a few minutes of your hard-earned time on my channel. Much appreciated. All right, let's talk David Price again. I've done a couple of videos about David Price recently. Obviously, post-fight video after that Povetkin performance. And then I think I've done a video a couple of weeks ago when David Price said he wants to continue fighting and maybe go for a European belt. I was very indifferent as to, what side I kind of sat on. Was it a case of David Price could maybe take a step down from Povetkin and bash those guys up, or should he retire? I think most people in my comment section were saying that he should just call it a day, and I was like, well, it's difficult for a fighter to call it a day. Always is, especially when that's their only income. It's not like David Price is going to go into commentary or training. Do you know what I mean? This is it for him. I'm now firmly in the belief that he should call it a day. And hopefully, and it won't happen, but people around him should obviously push him to call it a day as well. I just watched that Povetkin fight again with David Price. And it's strange, right? When you're watching it as I did live, you're just rooting for David Price. You're not really looking at what Povetkin's doing or what David Price is doing. You're just rooting for Price, thinking, please, God, just land one. Beat that drug-taking motherfucker. That's what you're doing. That's what I was doing anyway. But then it's almost like David Price and people around him have forgotten that David Price got knocked the fuck out in that fight. And I don't mean to be rude when I say it. It's one of the most brutal knockouts I've seen in a while. It really is. It's brutal. Now, why... And I just read an article in Boxing Scene, so I'm paraphrasing here, not very well either. But why David Price, and he said something like, I've got my mojo back. Why you've got your mojo back after getting knocked out like that, I don't know. I really, really do not know. And it's almost as though his handlers and his fans are thinking, yeah, but David Price is a big guy if he lands one. I mean, he's got into that kind of box now if he lands one box. So you can put him in against someone decent, because if David Price lands one, you never know. Or he was so close to beating Povetkin, you never know. That's just not how it works. Or it's not how it should work anyway, especially not in the heavyweight division, which is brutal, to say the least, where everyone can punch. Again, I've watched that Povetkin fight, and it's a brutal knockout. And everyone, all the people that are saying he should stay on and continue fighting and maybe go a level down, it's because, he wobbled Povetkin? Is that what it is? Because he landed one and wobbled Povetkin? Is that the reason he should continue? Not for me. I mean, he could have gone out on a high, but that's not boxing. Not everyone can go out like Carl Froch, but I think he should retire. Because if he doesn't retire, I am concerned that he could become, I don't know, I don't mean to be rude to this guy, but an Enzo Maccarinelli type person where you're just waiting for it to happen. Where you're actually just waiting. I remember Enzo Maccarinelli's last few fights. I was literally watching those fights behind the sofa, thinking, it's coming soon, it's coming. And that's what David Price is getting into. David Price is getting into that kind of territory. So he's going to continue. I don't think he should, because I think anyone's got a chance of him now, because those knockouts aren't easy to recover from. And it's not like he hasn't got a history of those knockouts either. He's been beaten like that. Not like that, but he's been beaten before. And I think European level fighters will eat him up as well. I really do. Mojo or no mojo, I think David Price should call it quits, and call it quits quick. And you know what the worst thing is as well? Again, reading this article on Boxing Scene, he said he wants someone in the top 15. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't think boxing is by any chance in the era of the 80s and 90s or 70s, but the top 15 right now is quite thick. It really is quite a good top 15. Like, for example, Chisora doesn't get in the top 15 anymore. Even the European champion, Caballal? He doesn't get in the top 15. The top 15 ain't a joke. I mean, you got someone like Jarrell Miller, Big Baby, who fights Dupas this weekend. I mean, Jarrell Miller's probably just about in the top 15. That's That's the level you're thinking now. I mean, David Price versus Jarrell Miller? No chance. No thank you. David Price, I beg you. If anyone knows him, send him this video. Please call it quits. Please, 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 for your own safety and your own health. Hopefully you made some good money from Povetkin fight. Maybe not 6 figures, but close. Surely that's enough to kind of say, all right, enough's enough.